Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod Season 10, Episode 9. Brought to you by Kuklakis Law. Are you currently navigating legal complex challenges? Unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Kuklakis Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and in Illinois. No matter what your legal issue is, their team is ready to help. Call Kuklakis Law today, 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Welcome.
I wish I had the Bears fight song. With your T formation, bear down, Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears.
Relax. They won one.
By the way, they broke their
2-3.
they broke their franchise record, 14 straight losses.
They should be 2-3 right now. In striking distance of 500.
Right in the mix for the division leadership.
Yeah, the only reason
That's
they
a
won
weak
yesterday
division.
is because Dick had died, right?
Yeah.
Rip.
It was
Rip
It was
Ditka.
Butkus. It was told to us at a
Yeah, so
They
we
were like, "Hey,
we were at pre-show.
yeah,
And
and
what
we were walk out, and we were told by a fan of the show.
Yes.
They saw us pre-show, and
You're never going to believe this.
we were like, "What?" And they said, "Mike Ditka died."
Ditka died.
We're
The
like,
Bears are going to
"What?"
win for sure.
We were like, "Oh my god!" And then they better win because we're literally leaving there to watch the Bears. And then we realized it wasn't Mike Ditka. It wasn't the coach.
No, it wasn't the coach. It was
The linebacker.
one of the best linebackers of all time. The Butkus Award.
Nice guy,
Named
Hollywood
after
actor.
Dick. Yeah. Oh, some funny stuff, right? Did some like spoofy stuff.
Was he in the stuff with OJ?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Was he
What
in
was that?
any
Naked Gun.
movie with
Naked
OJ?
Gun. Naked Gun. I bet you he was, right?
Where's
Who
I
wasn't in the Naked Gun movies?
Good point. A lot of bad actors. A lot of bad football actors.
Isn't that the name of a
IMDb.
bad
Butkus.
actors? That's the name of dead actors. That's the name of a Foo Fighters song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Dick Butkus.
What was the line on yesterday's game?
Naked Gun. Absolutely unbelievable, Tom.
Look at
See,
that, Naked
dude,
Gun. But that's like our
a
age.
potpourri of fucking bullshit in my
Potpourri.
head. A potpourri.
Potpourri.
See, I didn't get that part.
Potpourri.
It's a.
It's like,
Sounds
what was that
yummy.
other one? Airplane. That
That's
always
a way
had
to
all kinds
pronounce
of
it,
random
asshole.
people
Horse
in
Dovers.
What's that, Jill?
it. Airplane always had a bunch of random
Yes.
people in it. too.
Airplane would have it. Kareem
Yes,
Abdul-Jabbar.
agree.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was
He
in
was so
Airplane.
good.
Yeah.
Be talking jive.
You don't talk jive very well.
There you go. Thank you.
Kevin tried to talk jive.
And it was
and then
bad.
Was it
really,
awkward?
it was
Don't talk
very
jive.
Caucasian jive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
Where'd you guys,
do you expect?
You talk jive with a Caucasian accent.
What's the joke about Shirley? What's that one in there?
Shirley?
Don't call me
Surely you don't.
Yeah.
you don't-
Surely you don't believe this. I actually do believe that. And don't call me Shirley.
Shirley.
Yeah.
It's a great line.
What are you going to say, J-Vest?
Still makes me laugh.
Where'd you guys pre-show? Anywhere
We've
fun?
this is our thing this year.
Yeah.
We do on Monday night,
Mm-hmm.
we do
Danny
Danny
Z's.
Z's, which is solid, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You go there?
Great food.
Never
good,
been.
Good bar
Never
food.
It's
been.
good.
Oh,
It's good.
yeah.
On
And
45?
lively atmosphere.
Totally. I'm like, what are we doing?
You want to
Yeah.
go
We've been
with me,
going
Jill?
to like a
I
dead
don't
ass
like
place.
lively.
Kevin and I are literally holding hands by ourselves when we go to the bar. And then we go to Danny Z's, and it's like a happening place.
Yeah.
Like,
Outdoor
what the hell is going
patio,
on with those?
packed.
We've
the
been
games are
pre-showing
on.
for years, and was like, no
That's
offense
right.
to our previous our
It
previous
was nice,
location.
too, though. We had a nice time there. But
By
it was
ourselves.
Less lively,
I like you.
but very good.
I'd
attentive
rather be
service
with you
there.
and others. though.
Agree.
I do
Agree.
like you, though.
Yeah, thank you.
But I'd rather have others around.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know about that remark, Kevin.
What's that?
I like you, but I'd rather have other people around.
No.
Shade.
In addition
Kind of
to
a,
his
it's a
excellent company.
backhanded compliment.
No, it's
I
not
agree.
backhanded. It's saying I like you and others. I like others too, not just you.
Well,
I like-
everyone likes others.
everyone
Yeah, I like everybody. I like a whole bunch
Everybody
of people.
else and you.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
that's our Mondays,
Yeah.
and then Thursdays.
Yeah.
We've been hitting Borgia.
Borgia.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
What?
And a nice little.
We got like a bar spot in there.
There's a couple of gals from Hammond that work there, which are
Yeah.
always like to see the mayor, so that's nice.
No, they put us in the back corner, and then Kevin and I sit back there, and I drink my cappuccino.
And the server, the guy actually asked us, "Are you on a date?"
no, he was messing with us.
I know he
Shut
was.
up.
Because, dude, so
But
like,
what did you say?
so it was weird though, because we were sitting there, and I'm drinking my cappuccino, and then Kevin decides not to drink, which
I had a
don't know.
coffee.
Okay, so we're sitting there, and then I said, "Hey, can we get Pellegrino or like sparkling water or something?" Just like I need to be drinking that in addition to my
Right.
cappuccino.
A little water.
So the guy's like, yeah, no problem. And he brings us out like a champagne,
Like a wine bottle size of San Pellegrino.
in a champagne like cooler.
Yeah, in like a
So
wine
he like
holder.
gets 2 wine glasses and pours them,
We were like,
and
"What
then he
is
puts it in
this?"
the cooler, and I'm like, dude, we're not on a date. Like I just wanted some freaking
He loved
water.
that. He was laughing.
He did. I
When
was like, it totally. Like I was
He
like,
wanted
what'd
to be
you
a
get?
bit, and it worked.
It did. It worked. He
It
brought
did
out my
work.
dessert and he said, "Are you
did
guys
make a bit out
sharing
of it.
this?"
He was a young
Tiramisu?
guy too.
He did make a bit out of it.
He did. Thank
Remember when
you,
he brought the
young
dessert
man.
over?
Thank you, young man. Yeah.
He said, yeah, he thinks he's real funny at that point.
What did he say?
He said, "Are you guys sharing this?"
Yeah.
That's
And I'm like, yeah.
2 straws.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 spoons.
2 spoons.
And then he lit a candle. And that got really weird. Yeah.
I
So,
think
anyway.
Jill's right. Like more outlandish things are going to start happening to you guys because people want to be
Oh,
talked
made
about
a
on the
bit.
show.
Yes, that
well,
could
when,
be.
when Kevin and I are together with laptop or with our iPads.
with laptop. I thought that was someone.
I love lamp.
Yes. Oh, that
my friend
laptop guy
Laptop.
is hilarious.
Dude, this is my friend Laptop. They're like, that's the weirdest fucking name I've ever heard.
It's not funny.
But Laptop, I had this total opinion about him, and he was so cool.
He liked him and others, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I would just hang with Laptop all night.
And others, but you prefer him and others. Yeah.
I want to name my next dog Laptop. That's a good name.
That's a
Come here,
good name.
Laptop.
Yeah.
Laptop.
Like
a
it.
lapdog.
I like it.
But it had to be small.
Laptop.
It have to be lap size.
That's a good dog name.
It's a great dog.
You got to run it by Marissa.
Whatever. She'll shoot it down. She'll shoot it
Whatever.
down, dude. She's listening right now.
Just
Hi,
show up
baby.
with a dog.
She's like,
Marissa's-
no on laptop.
She's hanging with international women judges right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's an international woman judge when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is, aren't they? Every judge is, I
She's
guess,
my immigrant
apparently.
judge. And my immigrant.
Oh,
she
is that all
should
you?
be-
I thought you meant judges from other nations.
Yeah, other nations.
Yes.
International Women Judges Conference.
Judges from other nations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
She's hanging.
wonder how many people
That's
there are
pretty
like,
cool.
oh my God, Nikki Haley's here.
Yeah, many. Almost everyone, John.
I love that joke. Like,
We like it
Nikki
too.
Haley, a lawyer? Oh, shouldn't she be running for president?
There's
right
Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was an international judge. I
Marissa
just thought she was
hears
on
it.
the UN.
Marissa hears that shit all the time, by the way.
I'm sure.
The power of Lockpod.
Oh, you mean the joke?
Oh, yeah. You're
Oh,
like,
that's
I don't
great.
think you look like Nikki Haley.
She's
You
like, I know I don't.
She's like, my husband's an asshole.
So
Bad eyesight.
are we done talking about the Bears? Because I want to mention something.
Yeah.
Okay. I was feeling particularly reckless about 30 minutes before the game, so I texted Phil. I wanted to know Phil's bets for the game.
Good call.
And I got to say, we give Phil a hard time when he loses, which is 99% of the time. But he put me on a 4-leg parlay.
Whoa.
That hit. It hit.
How much did you bet?
$50.
Whoa.
You bet $50
You're
on a four-way parlay.
insane.
Yes.
Why would you bet $50?
Dude,
on
that's
Like I said, I was
600
feeling
bucks or something
particularly
like that?
reckless. Oh, it
Yeah.
was an ungodly sum.
I mean, it's
yeah.
better than spending $50 on going out
Wow,
and
Phil
drinking.
does deserve a vocal BJ the next day
Thank
after
you,
that.
Phil.
Excuse me?
Oh,
Vocal,
what?
vocal
That's so
BJ.
funny.
Vocal BJ. That's
Go
what
ahead.
John's
Let's
giving
hear
him.
it. What's a vocal?
John's doing it.
Yeah.
What does it sound like?
What
I
did you
actually
say?
said I was going
Do
to
it
give him a
again.
real
Do it again,
BJ.
John.
Oh,
Vocal BJ. I just made that up.
Yikes.
So
That's
Is
good,
that a
right?
pop-up lock?
you've got your dog name.
It's
You've got
the-
a new
That's the title, Vocal BJ.
vocal BJ. Is definitely the title name.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
Tell me
That's
about
right.
Dave Chappelle because I got aced out of the show.
yeah.
I
So
got totally aced out of the
I-
show.
by the
I'm
way-
glad you had fun with your wife.
That's very nice. And when we took Ethan as like a going away gift for
Whoa.
he leaves for Tampa. So here is the bag they gave us for free.
Was it free, though?
Yeah. Well, all right, fine.
Cost of those tickets.
included within the cost of admission.
The cost of the ticket was not that bad.
It was
I
not
heard.
bad. So he was in the round, right? It was cool. It was like right in the middle of center court, and they had like like kind of seats around the middle, and then obviously the United Center. So 3 nights sold out. It was his first time in Chicago in 10 years, which is really cool. As you know, United Center is a non-smoking venue, except for Dave Chappelle, who smoked probably a pack and a half. I mean, he's a big
Wow.
chain smoker, but whatever. That's Dave Chappelle. Show was set for 7:30. There were 4 opening comics, which was a lot, I thought, and so he didn't get on until 9.
Oh, that's late.
It was late. He got off, but he did about an hour and 25 minutes. So I thought that was really good. It was cool. And I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but he did not shy away from the trans issue that he had, which was great. He had a lot of fun about Chris Rock and him getting slapped by Will Smith. Talked about his own attack and that versus the Chris Rock attack, which was great. Talked about L.A. and the fact that there's a lot of homeless people there. Did a great thing on Representative Crawthorn. You got to go to the show. And one line I will say, because I don't want to, but it was great. He was talking about how Baltimore is actually a lot worse than like Chicago. He's like, man, if you haven't been to Baltimore's so bad. Tupac's mom moved him to Oakland. You know,
moved him to Oakland
from Baltimore.
From
Oakland,
Baltimore.
So that was good. Yeah. Now it was a no phone show, which I've never been to. John, have you ever been to a no phone show?
No.
I've been to one show. Joe, you?
Mm-mm.
I've been to one. I mean, it was a comedy also.
Yeah, throw this up, John. Do you have that photo I put in notes? So that right there, it's obviously a brand, Yonder, Yondr. When you walked in, there were people before you got to the metal detectors that made you put your phone and AirPods and any accessories into this, and then it locks at the top. And you're not getting it open. And then, by the way, you couldn't lie and go through. I saw a guy say he didn't have a phone. He went through the metal detector, his phone, he had to go back. So that is what you carried around with you. They're not identified, by the way. If you lose yours, it looks like everybody else's. So that is what you have your phone in. And then I would say this. United Center was very efficient at the end of the show. There were tons of people right outside the doors ready to open it up, and then you got your
Really?
stuff out. Yeah.
And then you leave that with the United Center?
Yeah, although that one came
So
home
you
with us.
literally carry your phone around inside of that?
Correct, and that's why I carried mine inside my bag that I got.
Huh.
Yeah, and that's what you had. So it was weird. So like 3 hours, I didn't have my phone. And they, by the way, I saw somebody that must have been able to sneak it in. They were taken out.
What?
Right away, expelled from the venue. You're out. It's not like, oh, go put it in a bag.
Right.
You are out.
Whoa.
Gotcha. See, the one I did, it was like a safe deposit box kind of thing. You went in and you put it in the safe, and it was a pain in the ass.
Oh, you didn't even have it with you?
No, dude. You
Oh,
left
this
it
was
like,
this you had with you.
That's different.
I
I've never
agree.
seen
And
it like
easier. I was really worried that it was going
So
to be
if
a
you
huge
drop
line.
that bag, though, you're screwed.
Yeah, if you leave it in the bathroom, or if you take it with you. I mean, if you take it with you, whatever, you probably cut it open. But it was something. But what do you think about that for comedy?
I think it's smart because think about it. Like you saw Dave Chappelle's new material.
Yeah.
And all one person has to do is drop it on TikTok, and the whole show's ruined.
The whole show.
And I see everything on TikTok.
That's true.
Like all the bands that are out touring, I see their tour before it even gets to Chicago. I know what they sound like. I know the songs they typically sing.
Right.
So like that's what TikTok ruins is comedians.
But a concert's a concert, right? Like a little bit different because the song's a song, you already know them.
Right.
And you still want to see them
You
live.
can still see them.
Right. You
If
still want to see them live.
The first time you hear a joke, you laugh your ass off.
For
if
sure.
you've heard it before, you may laugh again, but it lost its impact.
Agree.
Right.
Agree. Yeah. So that's why I guess that's a good point. And at first I was kind of itchy about not having my phone, but I was also happy that you didn't see a bunch of phones and lights up all shows. So it was good. It was
That's
awesome.
a weird thing about concerts. When you go now, I mean, it's just everybody's got their phone on.
Everyone's recording.
including myself.
Yeah.
I have like a catalog of concerts on my phone.
Same. Yeah.
Like basically every show I go, I get a few songs at least from each. Unless it's a dead, then I get like every song.
Yeah, John, are you a like record at a show guy, or do you just enjoy the show?
Like Tom, similar. Like
yeah.
I try not
Depends.
to do the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm the
like
same.
if it's not a good concert. Like I went to see ZZ Top with Dave Warple, and they sucked.
No video.
Not hardly at all. I was like the whole time like these guys suck, and I was
Really?
thinking I would never ever bring these guys to the festival.
At the Dead show, I recorded a couple, and I got a lot of the drone show because that was really cool.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
How about you, Joe?
No, I usually take a couple pictures, but what am I going to do with video? I'm not watching
video.
video.
Listen to it.
She lives in the moment.
Yeah,
I listen, but I do. I actually listen. Like if you want to remember what they sounded like or something, it's nice to be able to pull up a song. I usually only
fair.
do like a minute of a song too.
I'm the same.
I don't
like
do the
through the
whole
chorus.
song.
Yeah.
I don't do the whole song. I catch a part and then I turn it off, and then
Yeah.
Same.
yeah, man, Chappelle, I'm jealous.
It was great. I was happy to see him. Go see him if you're going this weekend.
Does he play tonight?
Enjoy.
and tomorrow?
Yeah, I think he's tonight and tomorrow at United Center. And this was supposed to be the end of
Well,
his tour, and then he
tomorrow's out of
added
the
2
question
nights.
because tomorrow is Notre Dame versus Louisiana. No,
Louisville,
right?
At Notre Dame?
At
At
Louisville.
Louisville.
What time's that game? Is it
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night?
prime
Another night
time.
game. Okay.
All right,
Notre
I need
Dame
Phil's
has-
pick for that.
4 ranked opponents in a row, and this is part of the 4.
That's not hurting them.
And then next-
big game next week.
Next
big
week against
game
USC,
next
right?
week against USC.
Yeah, so like 4 primetime games in a row, and
That's true,
nationally
too.
televised. Game day was at 2 locations following Notre Dame.
So
They were
good
at
for
South
recruiting.
Bend,
I love
and then
that.
the week later they were in Duke. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, they're not going to be in Louisville, I
No.
doubt, but this is a big game too.
They could be at South Bend again for USC.
Dude, I remember the last time Notre Dame played at Louisville. First off, Louisville played at Notre Dame and beat us in like 2015 or something like that. And then Notre Dame went to Louisville. I was at that game. You were at that game,
I was
right?
with you, yes.
And Notre Dame beat them, but it was tough.
And they had a really bad entrance procedure. We waited outside for a
Dude,
good hour and a half
horrible
to get in.
What?
Honestly.
Oh, yeah. They're not prepared. Like, I
Louisville
don't think
sucks.
Louisville's used
Louisville's
to getting
football
a full
stadium.
stadium.
I'm not saying Louisville sucks. I'm saying Louisville's football stadium sucks.
Yeah.
It is
It
freaking horrible. Dude.
It was not set up for a big crowd.
It's like yeah, if you're a high school football game, it's appropriate. If it's like Notre Dame, they're completely overwhelmed.
Yep.
It was horrible.
Like John, like 2 entrances in the whole stadium
Dude,
were open.
we were waiting for like an hour to get in the stadium. That's unacceptable when you're going to a game.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Yep.
Like, that sucked. In fact, I entertained going to Louisville to watch this game, and I remembered that, and I was like, fuck that. I am not going to that bullshit stadium.
It was
again.
rough.
It was, and then we missed our flight. Well, no, the flight got canceled.
Canceled on the way back. We made Phil
On the
wake
way,
up and
we
drive
got
us
lucky.
back
We got lucky, actually, because Phil and Kelly had driven down, and we had all flown
in
like
Papa
pimps.
T's van.
And then
Nice.
we wake up the next day, flight's canceled.
Yeah.
And we're like, bam, call Phil. We got to ride
You
home.
had to get up a lot earlier because we are like, we got to go, Phil.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Kevin was like, "We got to go." Like,
That is not.
Kevin's always
true.
got someplace to be.
You made the call.
My
Kevin's
friend Laptop's got to get back to town.
Yeah, dude, I got a
laptop's a
meeting
pain
with
in the ass.
Laptop.
I love that. Hey, we got some mailbag.
Oh, John.
What?
Yeah,
Just
man.
right on the.
Mailbag.
All right, here we go.
So awesome.
Mailbag. The 3-1 app. Okay, so now the 311 app. I'm not going to mention.
But explain what that
it's
is.
Just a lady. The 311 app. We started it. It's an app that's if you're a government nerd, which a lot of people that contact the mayor's office, they're sort of government nerds.
Sure, you're calling.
They're good citizens. They're like, and I love
Narcs.
these people. Narcs.
Narcs.
But like nice. They're like community-oriented narcs.
That's nice. I want that. I think you would want
Community-oriented-
that.
You do. I'm not making fun of them. I'm saying these people help keep us running.
Also known as cons, community-oriented narcs.
Community-oriented narcs. So the community-oriented
We
narcs
need a better
used to have
acronym.
to call City Hall to complain. Now we made this app for them, and they could do it anonymously. So they can go on this app and they could say, "My neighbor's a slob," and they could take a picture of it and send it, and then it goes right to code enforcement, and code enforcement has a complaint.
Community-oriented narcs.
Right.
This is great.
So we made this 311 app for these types of people, which I am this type
I
of
love the
person.
311 app.
I am this type of person.
Yes, me
I
too.
see stuff and
Me
I put
too.
it through 311 and
Same.
it goes right to the department. If it's graffiti, it goes to graffiti removal. If it's about a code enforcement issue, it goes to code. If
And they
it's-
are quick. Like, I would say this. When it went digital in this app, the response time on issues is so much
Kevin,
greater versus
it's faster.
calling.
It's faster than calling.
Yes.
The mayor put the fear of God into everybody.
Well,
about
that helps.
answering
Well, that helps.
But it works.
It works. Yeah.
But like what I'm saying, Jill, is like if you wanted, let's say you had something you wanted to get picked up, like a large item pickup, which is a typical thing you call city government for, right? If you called in the large item pickup, that's the old-fashioned way. It would take you'd probably get it picked up in a couple days, ish, right? Maybe a few.
Maybe
okay?
yeah, maybe like
maybe
yeah,
a few.
end of the week. Yeah, sure. Monday picked up by Friday.
If you
something
use
like that.
311,
oh,
I know where it goes. It goes to the front of the line. And it's not in because it's so efficient. It goes right to Felix. Felix wakes up in the morning like, oh, the Gajewski residence has large item pickup. And he
routes
forwards
it to
right
his guys.
It's literally the next morning. You put it in Monday night, Tuesday morning, they're picking it up.
Yeah, Rhonda was saying like they print them out and they give
Right.
them, or they get them to the route.
They
guys.
call them, I forgot what they call them. C-click fixes, they call them.
That's right.
They,
C-click
they
fixes.
say when we get in, if we have C-click
C,
fixes.
click,
Right.
fix.
Right. So anyway, so that's what we're talking about. This complaint doesn't
Generated
like
from that.
It does not like the 311 app.
Oh,
which
what?
I've never. That's why
A criticism of the 311
It's not only that the 311 app is like causing harassment.
She
and
also
bullying.
wants paper ballots. I'm
Here we
sure,
go. Here we
but-
go.
Here we go.
The 311 app necessitates enhanced regulation and is imperative to disallow individuals from submitting complaints anonymously. We do this so that,
That's not
like, if
true.
you want to
You can
narc
do
out
it
your neighbor-
anonymously.
You can
I
do it
do it all the
anonymously.
time.
So
I
do
do
I.
it
Yeah.
anonymously.
or as a guest.
I do it to check to make sure that people are taken care of.
That's
Because I
great.
don't mind putting it in under Mayor Tom. I do it to check the system to make sure it works.
Yeah.
Because if you put in a Mayor Tom, oh shit, we got Mayor Tom just
Right.
get on it right now.
Well, think about it. There's drug
Sure.
tips in there.
yes,
There's crime tips.
Yes, good point.
And if you're doing a crime tip, you want, there's some guys down the street with guns. And
John
they're like,
Besmar.
From Tom McDermott. like, oh, okay. With the guys with the gun know exactly where to go, right? So we allow people to do complaints anonymously, and this is what's pissing off this lady.
Wait, can you start from the beginning?
The
again?
311 app necessitates enhanced regulation, and it is imperative to disallow individuals from submitting complaints anonymously.
know what
Those
that
words are
means.
not used
don't
correctly.
No,
understand
and it is
that.
imperative to disallow. So this is what
I'm
we
just
got.
He
reading
just
it.
opened the thesaurus.
We're not gonna freaking like this is I'm reading.
That makes no sense.
I just want to know what it means.
I don't-
So I think what she's saying
She's
is
mad.
you need to regulate this more because people are fucking with me on 311. I
Probably
think that's what she's
Oh.
saying. I'm like interpreting.
Mhm.
Oh, all right.
All right. So let's get.
That's why
so
you're the
what she-
mayor.
Thank you. I'm like the interpreter from the community, right?
For
She's
community-oriented
saying
narcs.
people are messing with me on 311 and they're doing it anonymously.
You're right. Okay. All right.
This is
all
what
right.
she's saying. Okay.
All right.
This thread is being utilized as a means of engaging in oppressive behavior and intimidation tactics.
Exclamation point.
Right? See where we're going with this?
Yes.
Okay. It is deeply concerning that the mayor tolerates such conduct on a publicly funded municipal platform. I had no idea this shit was going on, I'll be honest with
Yeah,
you. If
yeah.
it is. Over the course of the past 3 years, I have consistently voiced my concerns regarding escalating situation at hand, only to witness a lack of action being taken. Regrettably, I anticipate a similar outcome this time around, as is
Already
evident
predicting.
that Hammond's leadership fails to prioritize the well-being of its residents as they ought to.
Wow.
Little does she know she's on lockpod.
Yes.
You are
See?
not being ignored.
That's right.
you
are not being ignored, man.
You know, I got to tell you,
Post
I did-
haste,
I
solve
did-
with a.
This whole
Forthwith.
problem. So somebody submitted a complaint about her, obviously, anonymously.
Oh,
That's
I
the whole
thought
thing.
she was saying like, because I didn't realize. Can you comment on people's?
Yeah.
I guess
Yes.
so. There's
Oh, I
threads.
didn't know that.
I have seen.
Yes,
I
you
didn't.
can.
I
Have
didn't
you
know
ever-
that. I just submitted.
Have you ever
it.
done it, Joe?
Have I ever commented?
Have you ever got it? They have threads of people.
Wait, it's
just
like a social media
What?
Yes.
platform.
Kinda is.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
It kind of is.
And John's
Yes.
in IT.
Yeah.
Look how surprised he is.
But that's more.
People
Chris,
don't
that's
have
more what
anything
Chris
better
does.
to do
It
with
is.
their
It's like a
life.
social media thread.
Yeah.
So they get on there and they'll say like, "This house never cleans up their garbage," and then somebody will get on there and say, "I've lived next to this house for 4 years and they never clean up their garbage." And another person gets on there and says, "These people are freaking
Slobs.
pigs. They live like
What?
assholes."
That
Like, they're
happens?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I just post
found
my
out.
311 and I hope it gets done.
Right.
See,
That's
click,
all-
forget.
See,
Yeah.
click, forget.
See, click. But so anyway, the 311 app is meant to help improve our community. This lady's pissed off that people are dogging on her.
So have you looked into
anonymously.
this?
I just got it.
Wow.
Can we just disable
She says she's
chat on there?
consistently. She's
I
consistently.
want
told
you to
me.
like pull her stuff and see like what she's reporting. 'Cause
Yeah.
it might be valid
All right.
that
right.
they're harassing her.
All right.
Yeah, it
All
could
right.
be.
Good
So let's
point.
just disable chat on the C-Click. It should be a submit thing, and like that's
Well,
it.
take it
I
back.
agree,
Take it
John.
back to work, Jabez.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. IT.
I mean, that was incredulous. John
Come
was
on,
like,
Chris.
what?
See, now you know why I picked that one. It's a good one, right?
That was a
Great
good
one.
All right, here's another one.
We have more?
another one.
What?
Wow.
Lady. Yeah.
I love mailbag.
All right, here we go.
It's so
Mayor,
real.
I have been a resident of Hammond since 1986. Oh, this
that's
sucks.
solid.
This one sucks. This one
That's
is
solid.
This one's
That's like
horrible.
almost
This is a
40
flood-
years.
It's a flood victim.
Oh,
All right?
no.
The older I get, the more devastated I become each time I have a flood. I am not as strong, and need help. Please, please do something about this flood issue. I still have a voice to spread around good things or bad things about you.
Oh.
Hopefully it will be good. If not, I will campaign against you in the next election.
Oh, wow,
Man.
that escalated quick.
You'd have to have an opponent
John,
first.
same thing I
Yeah,
thought.
right?
It was like,
Yeah, it
you
started
know,
off good, and then she's like, saying,
real fast.
I'm taking you out, boy.
It went from like, please help, this is really tough because it just
They're
gets
like
worse.
threatening me.
I'm
I
campaigning
will,
against
I will
you.
crush you politically in the streets of
Wow.
Hammond.
I'm
Your
going to
lifeless
kidnap
body.
your dog laptop.
Yes, gone.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the kind of shit
That's
I do.
good stuff, though. I mean, that is a window into your day.
Yeah, people wonder why I go to Michigan, right?
Have you ever considered like hitting reply?
Nope.
Like they would not expect
Do
that
not
at all.
engage.
Nope.
Please don't.
That's discouraged.
Please
Yeah,
don't
that'll work.
campaign against me. But if you do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully they're Lockpod fans. I love you, both of those people.
I
I'm doing it for all the right
All the
reasons.
Lockpod
Well,
fans,
like,
both
these
of
two
you.
fans in particular, love both of them. Sorry about the flood. That's horrible. My house flooded also, and my house will flood again because I am also on a combined system with no backflow preventer. And then to the other lady that is,
See, click, fix.
We're looking into it.
yeah,
Yes,
John's
on it.
looking into. All right, let's go ahead and do some ads.
We'll come back. We're going to talk a little bit about Kevin McCarthy's ouster, and we've got all kinds of, Biden's new immigration wall. That was his idea. And
Yeah, man. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Biden's building the wall
Crazy.
in Texas.
Biden 2024, baby. Let's go.
Mexico's paying for it, John. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Nice.
right. All right, Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and your family, trust the industry leader, Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. Their commitment to quality shines through in their roofing, their siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranties in the business. Visit our website at rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Tortillas Nueva Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity. Discover the flavors of Tortillas Nueva Leon today.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Thank you, Eli. Power in America, Lake County,
Power in
IBEW.
Indiana.
Power in Indiana, Lake County. Thank you. IBEW Local 697 and NECA proudly introduced Power in Indiana, Lake County. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region for years. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across the region, Power in Indiana, Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Visit JACT, that's JACT 697.org to join them as they continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy, with a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltonsberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, and
there it is.
Always on time, always under budget. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions.
Just a nice little plug for Rick. We were doing a print job yesterday, and there was a screw up. And Rick, this is just a great example of why Misprint's so good. Rick calls. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to figure this out. He came up with like 3 different ways to solve this problem, and it was like literally $100 problem. But he was like, I just want to make this right. And that's I mean, seriously, that's Rick. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just, I am trying to pump up our sponsors.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
Good call.
Thank you to all our sponsors, including our episode sponsor, Kuklakis Law.
So when Kevin McCarthy, the former Speaker of the House, made a deal to become Speaker of the House back in January, as we all remember, it took him 15 rounds to get the votes to finally become Speaker.
Crazy.
And while he was going through round after round, him and Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida were going at each other and making deals with each other. And finally, Speaker McCarthy made a deal that ultimately resulted in his ouster. The deal was any single member of his caucus could bring a motion up to oust the Speaker of the House at any time during their tenure, and which was unusual. I think once you were chosen as a Speaker, you were basically locked in for 2 years unless you were like...
I think it is. I don't know if it's to the next Congress, right? And then I think you can be vacated, but the vacate procedure changed.
It was harder.
It was harder,
more complex.
Exactly.
It was probably like a majority of your caucus.
I think you needed the support of several other members. It wasn't just a one-person thing. But I think so my memory of that like 15th vote or 13th vote, I just remember Gaetz and McCarthy like chest to chest almost, right? Like going at each other.
Well,
like I remember holding his arm.
There was one congressman that almost got in a fight with Gaetz, if you remember correctly.
Yep. And my recollection of that whole hold up by the Freedom Caucus was, we're going to hold you to these like 8 things, and if you don't, we've got this motion to vacate now.
Right.
And I thought an interesting thing McCarthy said when I saw his interview, I don't know if it was right before the vote or right after, he's like, Matt had this planned all along.
He did.
And it was just a matter of time.
Representative Gaetz, right.
Yeah, I'm just quoting him. He said Matt.
Right.
So.
I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
So basically, by making a deal to finally become Speaker of the House, Speaker McCarthy gave the power to the minority members of his caucus.
Significant minority.
Saying any 2 people in my caucus of 220 or so Republican House members could bring up a vote to oust me.
That was dumb.
It was dumb, as it turns out. It was dumb. He probably didn't think that they were going to oust. Because the only way, think about the math here, Joe. So let's say they had like a 5-person majority.
I think that's right. 4 or 5, right?
Okay, so you have to have more. So think about it from Gaetz's point of view. If I get 6 people to say, I want to oust Kevin McCarthy, all you need is 6 people to oust him, because you get those 6 people to team up with all the Democrats and then you win the election.
Not even team up. You just assume the Democrats are going to hold.
Just assume the Democrats are going to screw them because the Democrats are not on the same team. So if the Democrats vote together and I get 6 Republicans to side with Democrats, we could topple the Speaker of the House.
And by the way, I read that Pelosi was proposed to Pelosi when she was kind of up the last time, and she resisted it. She's like,
There's
no way. Because it would have been like
it would have been the squad.
It would have been like
that.
the squad would have got
The
her
squad
out.
needs
Same
6
thing would have
people.
happened.
All you have to do is turn your back on your party, and you get 6 people, which is a heck of a lot easier than getting 100 plus to people to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. First of all, I think by doing this, it gives the Democrats, from a Republican perspective, it gave the Democrats a huge amount of power. Because if they hold as a block, it gives them even more power to like the fringe element of your party.
Matt Gaetz probably raised $10 million after he did this. If not, probably more, actually. $20 million.
He's the pedophile, right?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
alleged.
Alleged.
No, not
Alleged.
even.
Asterisk.
Just
He
young
got
girls.
cleared.
Just young.
Yeah, we don't even know if
He
they're
got
Uncomfortably
cleared for
young.
that.
Some countries it's probably legal kind of thing. Right?
I don't think that's ever been.
It has.
What's that? Well, they're
Last
bringing
I
it up.
read like 6 months ago.
I know. I
cleared.
think. I think criminally it has
Yeah.
been taken care of in John's defense, but it's, but politically it hasn't been cleared up because you can still bring that shit up politically.
Politically, it has not been cleared up.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of, didn't
There's no statute of limitations.
you guys have
politically.
this here in the freaking show notes?
Yeah, I didn't put that.
Yeah, that no.
Put that in here.
So that was
This is so tasteless.
It was
That's
yeah, it's the Daily
funny.
Show.
there. So the Daily Show tweets.
The Daily Show sucks.
What does it say, Kevin? I can't. read.
The Daily Show tweeted, "Refreshing to see Matt Gaetz f someone over 18."
It doesn't say F either.
No,
Yeah,
It says it's refreshing to
that's-
see Matt Gaetz F
I'm
somebody
not
over
American.
18.
That was the-
Referring to the Speaker of the House, I imagine.
I would
crass.
assume that was crass, but I just
but accurate.
Not,
Well, I
not
mean-
accurate.
Oh,
definitely-
okay. She was 18. My bad.
yes.
That's not tasteful.
So I thought this was just really fascinating, this whole vacation and ouster, because number one, it is, I think, looking at it from a Democratic perspective, it was interesting that Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader of the House, was like, we're keeping our caucus together.
Well, this is interesting. I listened to a podcast about this yesterday. Okay, about this issue, and there was communication between Kevin McCarthy and the leader,
Minority
Jeffries,
leader, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And basically, there was some demands from Democrats saying, if you want us to save you, because they could have saved him
Absolutely.
with just a few
Yeah.
votes.
Yeah,
If you want us to save you, this is what we want. And there was concessions involved,
I'm sure.
like co-chairmanship,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Why
Like,
wouldn't you ask for that?
You need our help. We'll help you, but you have to help us too. And Speaker McCarthy, whether you love him or you hate him, told him to go F himself.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I think,
He,
well, I
like,
mean, how
gave
do
him
you
the
live with
strong
yourself?
finger.
How do you live with yourself if
Well, he was afraid because, like, what Gates was doing was saying he's going to keep the government running with Democratic help.
Yep.
That's what sealed his fate. But, like,
for the 8 of those people?
I tell
yeah.
you what, it's hard to be. I find myself lately being sympathetic to the Republicans that are just getting turned out by their party. Like Mike Pence, for doing the right thing,
Yeah,
is hated
fair.
by his
I'm
party,
with you.
right? Kevin McCarthy, what was his crime? Kept the government open.
Right. And
Right?
even,
No, his crime was not keeping
He made
half
a
a
deal with the
dozen promises when he got voted in.
Because his promises would have included shutting down the government, John. That's what they wanted. That's what the Gates of the world wanted. You watch.
Okay, I don't recall that, but
I mean,
Prediction.
I think it was this is what he said. This is a quote. "I don't regret standing up for choosing government over grievance. It's my responsibility. It's
talking
my
about.
job. I
Choosing
don't regret
government.
negotiating."
What's he
Our-
talking about?
Our government is designed to find compromise, and that's what I did.
Choosing government.
Yeah, he chose government.
Right. He
over
wants to keep it
grievance.
running. I honestly think if you put me in charge of Hammond and Hammond freaking shuts down completely, I think I've failed you. Your job isn't to shut it down completely. Are we sending representatives to Washington to shut it down completely? If that's your goal, mission accomplished.
And I think
right?
that's like the Steve Bannon War Room podcast. And I read a great article in the New York Times about that. And there's a link to it, John. You should read it if you get a chance. It's really interesting about how, like, Gates and one of the other folks, what's her name? The one from South Carolina that actually doesn't even like Gates, and actually took a jab at him about that thing in Florida about the underage stuff. But anyway, they voted together in this instance. They were on War Room right after the vote. And, like, they went to Bannon's little place off.
I watched it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's interesting that, and I guess my point is that it just seems like there's an element that just wants to create chaos.
dude.
What? How do you get that from this?
Create-
The arguments Gates is making are, in my
Agreed.
opinion, fucking brilliant.
I agree with you, John, but I don't think he's sincere. That's the problem.
Right, I think it's
Okay.
just,
What's coming out of his mouth is really, really
Yes,
applicable.
I agree, Tom, for two reasons.
Uh-huh.
One, and this is upsetting to me. One, he's sending out fundraising emails during this.
For sure.
And it was so disappointing to see.
Bullshit.
Agree.
I think he wants to run for governor of Florida. Actually,
I
I think
agree
that's
with
a
that.
foregone conclusion.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that too.
And he wants Trump.
He wants out of Washington.
He's got that young lady vote locked up.
Yeah, man. As long as they're of age,
Does
then
he?
they can register. 18. Got to be 18 to vote.
So that's disappointing to
He's
see.
going to push
but
for 16-year-olds to vote. Big push in
I
Florida.
just think in McCarthy unloaded on these 8 too, and go figure, right? He said, yeah, a lot of them I helped get elected, so I probably should have picked someone else. So that was interesting.
What do you guys make of McCarthy not putting up a fight, not wanting to be speaker?
Why
just
would you
threw
want to
in
be
the
Speaker
towel.
of that? John.
You mean again, John? Like going
John,
putting his name in now?
Yeah.
I
I expected that.
John,
to be honest.
I'm gonna say it right here on Lockpod. Season 10, episode
9.
9.
Nuevo.
This government's shutting down in November, and it's going to be a significant period of time. That's what's happening.
Whoa.
Because yes,
Because what
whoever
is the next speaker going to do?
The next
He's in the
speaker,
same boat.
The next speaker is got marching orders
Jim Jordan.
until Biden gives you serious concessions,
You don't-
including
you shut down this government.
including border security. This government will be shut down. That's what's going to happen. That's what's happening.
Because
right now.
otherwise you get another motion to vacate.
That's right. Right? We'll just pull your ass out again, right?
Can you show that? Can you show what's his name? The fella from North Carolina that is the pro tem.
I'd have to
What's
pull
his
it
name?
up.
Pat McHenry. I put in the notes. It's
did you?
Yeah,
I
Pat
didn't get
McHenry.
that.
Is that
Sorry.
the
Representative Pat McHenry's gavel slam. I read
Oh
it.
my!
This is right after.
And he's by the way, he's a McCarthy. So after September 11th, in the case of a massive terrorist attack, the Speaker of the House was supposed to put in to the Clerk of the House of Representatives a list of who was going to be pro tem. It's kind of meant for like if
Right.
the House gets wiped out, who's left to run the show. And actually, this came into effect because of the motion to vacate. McCarthy got vacated. They went to the list. Pat McHenry from I forget. Patrick.
Right. So anyway,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. Here's the gavel slam. I don't.
How do you rewind on YouTube Shorts? Can someone in chat?
I don't think you can.
What are you?
It's in the.
shorts?
It's in.
Let me just
John, it's in
You
the
can't do
note.
that on Facebook either.
It's in the note. Oh,
There
here
it is.
Boom.
Why did he hit it so
He
hard?
hit
Does
it
anyone
so
know?
hard.
Does anyone know to this day why he hit
I think
that so
he's.
hard?
'Cause I think he
He
was
was
pissed
mad.
at what happened.
He was mad.
He's a McCarthy guy.
He was a McCarthy guy.
Ah.
Bam. He like took his. I'm surprised he didn't break it actually.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, let's go ahead. We're going to do some ads, and when we come back from ads, we're going to talk about Biden walking backwards on the wall. He said that Trump made a mistake, and Trump's promise was not the way to go forward. And here, President Biden is just authorized 20
miles.
20 more miles of wall to be built in Texas.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, there's a little more to the story, but yes, we're
Okay.
gonna get into it.
So we'll come back and talk about
Wow.
that. And then I got another good ending. I call him the TikTok ending.
I watched it. It's so
It's so ridiculous.
his face, Trebek's face.
It happened on Jeopardy.
Alex
so.
Trebek's face is worth it. Worth
Yeah.
watching.
So, okay, let's go ahead. We'll start off with Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. When you're facing legal challenges and don't know what to do, they're here to guide you through the process. Their dedicated team, including John and Kristen Cantrell, is in court and at the jail every day, ready to fight for your rights. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4529. Or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. Discover how they can make a difference in your case.
Calumet Brewing, Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager, is calling you to embrace the great outdoors, the roar of NASCAR, and the joy of cracking a cold one. Celebrate life's moments. Yeah, good sound effect.
Oh.
Celebrate life's moments with Busch Light, and then head over to Cal Brew on Facebook or Instagram for a chance to win a Busch Light Igloo Cooler. Sweeps are running through
Yeah,
September.
I know. I forgot that this
Wah,
morning.
wah.
No one's winning that cooler, man.
No, man.
Sorry.
Still here, though. It's ready for our party with Busch Light.
Hey, man,
Exactly.
I got a new cooler.
Yeah.
It'll be for sale.
Congratulations.
It'll be for sale at the
You won the
Antique Mall.
sweeps.
Won.
The antique mall.
Marissa's got a booth
I got
there.
that joke. I got it.
Visit Busch.com and their social media pages for exciting updates and events. Head for the mountain of Busch Light and enjoy beers and cheers responsibly.
For decades, the Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. Their wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance, have helped over 1,000 individuals and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. That's Prestimer Insurance Company. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
And Byway Brewing, a family-friendly microbrewery, welcomes you to their spacious tap room and outdoor patio. Enjoy award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Their unique brewing equipment and production facility provide a perfect backdrop for private events, whether it's a bridal shower, reunion, or corporate party. With their new food truck, they could cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Customer service is our top priority at Byway Brewing. Just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer. No nude food truck. It's a new food truck.
New.
That was a good bit. All right, so
listen to season 10, episode 8 for that bit.
President Biden, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, when campaigning for president, made promises about immigration that resonated with his base. He said he was going to build a wall across the southern border of the United States, and Mexico was going to pay for it, which was a lie.
Yes.
People, whatever. People could lie nowadays in public office. Donald Trump gets elected, did significantly build some walls. He didn't get the whole thing done. John, how much did he get done?
That is a good question.
Not much.
Well,
it is.
thing.
I mean, I don't mean that
I've heard
critically.
numbers
I'm
all
just
over
saying,
the place.
yeah.
I think it was like 500 miles. Some people said he did like
it's more than I
none.
thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
What,
How many
nonetheless?
miles is the border?
Oh gosh,
2,000 probably.
I was going to say through. You're talking about like up to like
Chicago.
Texas,
If
right?
you drove from Chicago to San Francisco, it's 2,000 miles. So it's probably pretty close.
And when
Like,
we're talking about the border,
from
we're talking
Texas, Louisiana border to basically.
maybe not all the way to the Louisiana border because the Gulf's there. So it's whatever the edge of the Gulf, whatever Mexico is.
whatever.
Yeah. To Tijuana.
Yeah.
Or
You're right.
Baja
My bad. You're
or
right. My
something,
bad.
right?
Over there. You're right. Yeah. You'd be from Tijuana to basically Arizona,
Yeah, into Texas.
New
wherever
Mexico. New
yeah.
Mexico. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
It's long.
It is long.
Couple thousand miles.
I would say.
So anyway, Joe Biden takes over as president. I felt weird
Campaigned against the wall. Right?
when I was campaigning for U.S. Senate in 2022, and this issue came up. I always felt weird personally because I went to China. I visited a wall in China that works really well on immigration control. It's it's a great
The great
What
one?
are you talking
It's
about?
a
great
great
one?
wall. It's a great wall.
It's a great one.
I'm
That is
telling you.
not an immigration.
I agree, but they don't have immigration problems there.
Because no one wants to go to China.
Nobody wants to jump over that wall. The wall is humongous.
It's not like on the border. It's
I
like in
think
the middle.
So
It's
anyway,
keeping something
What?
out, Kevin.
I think I'll be honest with you. I always felt this way as a candidate. I would try not to talk about this issue because I think that building a wall does work. I really do feel that way. So when I was asked as a candidate about this, I would say things like, we could do technology upgrades, blah, 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 because I didn't want to piss off the Democrats. Okay. But this issue to me makes sense. If you have an immigration problem, why don't you build a wall to fortify your border? Okay. But so Joe Biden runs for president, doesn't want to talk about this issue either, probably, and becomes president of the United States, and now is starting to build walls.
Yeah, I mean,
resuming Trump's projects.
so I think the way that there's a little bit of spin on this, and I'm not taking one side or the other on this because I haven't really figured out where I'm at on this issue, but there was a mandate.
What does that mean?
I'm trying to figure out
Why don't you
if
think-
I'm for
You don't
or
know
against
where
the wall.
you're
I don't.
at?
I don't know where I'm at.
Do you believe? I mean, honestly, though, do you believe when somebody crosses into America that they're breaking the law?
If they're crossing illegally, they're breaking the law.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you think we should do something about it?
I think it's become to a breaking point where we have to do something about it. Yes.
It's
The
a
numbers
flow.
are insane.
I mean,
Right.
like I don't.
And look at what's
there's-
going on in Chicago.
There's
That-
always been illegal immigration. I'm talking like European
Agreed,
illegal.
Kevin.
Like I was talking to Steve. One of his grandfathers, when he came over, he kind of like was a stowaway. My
for all I know-
grandparents came through Ellis Island, right?
My ancestors came through Ellis Island also.
Yeah.
For all I know, they came illegally. I don't know.
don't know, right? So I don't think this is like a new problem, but I think every generation where there's a big immigration in the U.S. has to deal with it, and it's become where I'm living in Hammond, Indiana. If I was living on the border, and
Yeah.
you look at El
If we were
Paso,
in Texas,
and they're overtaking
Yeah.
there are more migrants than there are people in the cities.
Agree.
And that's obviously a problem. So
Right.
it's a big issue.
so what do
down
you
there.
do?
What
So
do
you
do?
if you go down there and Donald Trump says, "I'm going to build a wall here,"
I'm like, yeah.
they're going to vote for Donald Trump
Agreed.
because they see it. Now, probably one of the smartest things that I've seen done by the Republican Party in the last 10, 20 years, in my opinion, has been what they're doing with immigrants by busing them and shipping them to places like New York, to places like Chicago, to places like LA and San Francisco. Well, not that they don't have a problem there already because they have immigration issues there already, but shipping them to places that are welcoming cities and they're far away from the border. Like it's easy for Chicago to be a welcoming city, where they're located. Now, all of a sudden, because Greg Abbott is shipping immigrants right to Chicago. Chicago's overloaded with them, and
Or-
you're starting to hear the same types of issues in Chicago, which you don't.
Didn't the Chicago mayor just go down to, or isn't he going down to the border?
He's got a major problem. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be shocked, Joe.
I mean, but
You
like,
see
what
the
does
police
that solve?
stations?
Yeah, no, but what is him going to the border solve?
Nothing.
So he
It's a
could freaking
photo
raise
op.
money.
It's like
Yeah.
Rakita going
I was down
What
there,
did that
like,
solve?
oh, look at the border. Yeah,
Right.
I'm down
It's
here.
bad.
Could you take this
Rokita.
picture? I'm looking really
Rokita.
concerned. Right.
So what point does that spill over to Hammond with all the extra
You know what?
bodies they're having?
You know why we haven't dealt with this? Tell me if you think I'm wrong, Kevin. We're not a welcoming city. We're not a welcoming state. I think we're a red state at the end of the day. Even though we're Democrats where we live, Jill, our governor, I don't think Greg Abbott wants to do that to a fellow Republican governor. So that's what protects us here.
I
in the
think that's
region.
right. He's sending it to Democratic.
He's sending it to Democratic
Cities
governors,
and
to
states.
Pritzker,
Yep.
and to Democratic cities, to Brandon Johnson, to Chicago. He's trying to prove a point. He's also sending it to places like Martha's Vineyard, Democratic area. He's sending it to places where, and then New York, where people are like, this is bullshit, and now places like Chicago are like, hey, I'm going to put, 1,000 immigrants in this building in your neighborhood. And people are like, I don't want it. It's like causing problems, which has
It
been
also
going
brings
on
it
in
to
Texas.
the right. It
That's
brings
right.
it to the forefront. You're like, yeah, man, we're down in McAllen,
We've been dealing
Texas.
with this shit in Texas.
Welcome to our world.
That's right.
Yeah,
And you guys sit there in Chicago and say, we're a welcoming city.
I think it's
They're
all-
like,
I think it's also interesting that, I think probably, and this goes back for hundreds of years, immigrants go to where their communities are. So, for example, there's in New York, there's Jamaica, right?
Right.
And so,
Chinatown.
in our area, Eastern Europeans came in the early 20th century, right?
Right.
That's why I'm here. And so,
Right.
and
Well,
so,
Chicago, a lot of
Venezuelans
African-Americans.
and Venezuela, right? The Great Migration, right? So. But now I was reading something like Chicago has a huge Venezuelan population, and Venezuelans is who the Biden administration is targeting. They had more Venezuelan illegal entry last month than Mexican.
That's crazy.
Yeah, than Guatemalan. It was number one. So I thought that is really interesting. To
So
me.
this gets back to the original question. I support a wall. I think it's a smart idea. I think Biden's doing the right thing. And I hate to say it, but I think Trump is right on this issue that the only thing that's going to stop illegal immigration across our southern border is building a big, tall, high wall.
We need
and
a
it'll
serious
stop it.
policy solution. What that
That is a policy
yeah,
solution.
Yeah.
It's a big wall. Like, it works in China. It worked. Not that.
It's not the purpose of the Great
You know what
Wall
happens
of
if you go
China.
over the Great Wall of China?
That was a
You get killed.
fortification.
Of course, it was a fortification. I agree. But what I'm saying is, it's a freaking wall. It works.
Some guys just tried
People
to dig
don't.
under it.
I agree.
They got
and guess
arrested.
what happened? Yeah.
But it wasn't
they're
because they
going
were
prison.
trying to get to the other side.
And if you were trying to get in, you would get arrested.
So what is this wall he's building? 'Cause I didn't read all this.
John. It's the wall that was designed. I think that's what they like. In other words, it was appropriated back in 2019 or
Yes,
right
yes,
before.
yes. Very
and
true.
so he's he's basically going through with what was mandated.
And the president can stop these things easy because, keep in mind. Remember when Abbott did the
bubbles in the
Rio Grande?
the buoys.
He put the big buoys in barbed wire and everything in the middle of the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
Federal government scooped them up, said this is violating the Clean Water Act and all these environmental acts, and they scooped it out easy, right? So if you want to build a big, massive wall, the federal government could stop it so simply because there's so many effects on water and ecological damage you're going to do, and they could stop it so easily. So what all the environmentalists are saying to Biden is stop it. Use all of the powers you have as president to stop this project, and he's not stopping it.
No, in fact, the administration said it was waiving more than 20 federal laws and regulations, waiving Clean Water Act, waiving Clean Air Act, waiving it so they could build the wall.
Okay, so it's going to add an additional 20 miles to the
20 miles.
existing barrier
That's
system.
correct. I think near McAllen, if I'm not mistaken.
Why don't we just, when I say we, I'm talking to the Democratic Party here. Why don't we admit we made a mistake on this issue? Because I think that's what the president's doing. And by the way, I have equal opportunity. I bash Biden when I think he's messing up, and I've done it on this show. He's making the right decision here. Our party, the Democratic Party, has been wrong on this issue. I think that Donald Trump was right on this issue. I think this is what's important to a lot of voters that want to vote for both sides, but they're not voting with us because this is an important issue to them. These people that live in Texas, like
yeah,
Kevin said.
the people that either this issue is very important to them or are in the middle, I think they'll appreciate seeing Biden pivot and do something about the border versus just always saying this is our position. No, we're not gonna. It's a crisis down there.
Give
Trump credit. Give Trump credit for
not only
pushing
that,
this.
man. The Southern governors have made this a national issue.
Yeah, it's now a crisis in big cities.
It's a crisis in Chicago. Has immigration ever been a crisis in Chicago? No.
No.
It's now it is because they're overburdened with a bunch of illegal immigrants that were bussed here and flown here by the governor of Texas and the governor.
I'm not a Greg Abbott fan, but
I'm not
this
either.
was not. This was smart
Oh
by
my
him
God,
to.
they're spending. Oh,
What's that,
the
John?
money big cities are spending on
Oh, yeah.
housing illegal immigrants now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't afford it. Chicago,
Well, what's
New
going to
York.
happen? You're going to see this is going to cause a lot of turmoil politically.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm saying places that like New York and Chicago, there's significant opposition voices to the Democratic leadership, and that's because of this issue. They're like, I'm going to put 1,000-person immigrant facility in your neighborhood, and they're like, the hell you are.
Yep.
We don't want that abandoned school to get turned into this, because then we're going to have thousands of people walking around our neighborhood, and right now it's a quiet neighborhood. And then they start getting pissed at the Democrats in power, and it changes the dynamics of the political relationship.
Yeah, they said that this year more than 380,000 people bound for the U.S. have crossed the Darien Gap, which is a jungle straddling Colombia and Panama. 380,000 that have gone through there on their way to the U.S. It's interesting.
I mean, it's so simple for people that don't live near the border to forget about this issue. And I'm
True. I'm with you. I'm one of those people.
Even when I was running for Congress and the Senate, I always said that I support legal immigration. Like my wife.
I remember that.
My wife is a legal immigrant. And she did it, and I think I realize not every situation could be handled the way it was handled with her, but I think that's how most of the immigrant situations should be handled. So,
got to stem the tide.
Yeah.
Let people come. I'm all for legal immigration. I'm all for appropriate asylum.
Yeah.
And
appropriate asylum.
So what's the process after they get off the bus in Chicago? Like, do they register everybody?
They get a luxury
No.
hotel room.
I mean, like,
Register to vote?
Penthouse.
No.
Yeah.
No. Like, are they
I don't even know.
keeping track of who's
I tell you,
here?
it'd
Are
be
they
interesting to talk to somebody about this.
I would love to hear that.
They're
Steve
putting
Kellogg.
Them up, they're putting them up at police stations.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the one by Wrigley Field,
Yeah.
that
I've
police
been in that
station.
precinct.
But
No
like,
way,
when
right
you
down
go,
the street.
When you go by it now, John, you'll see hundreds of people in the building just like chilling.
Oh
like
my
they
God.
live in the building.
Oh.
They're just sitting on their suitcases. They have little kids running everywhere in the police station because there's no place to put them. And it's like, this was never a problem in
This wasn't the
Chicago. This
plan.
is never a problem in Wrigleyville.
No.
They have no place to put them. So they're just like living in the police station. It's an out of control situation. So why is Biden backtracking?
And it's not fair to the migrants either. I mean, they
put themselves in a situation.
I
by
understand,
coming
but
here.
it's
I
one of
mean,
those things where like they think they're going into that's going to be some great situation, and it's not.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just
Do
a
you-
tough situation.
I don't know. Do they? I mean, I'm sure a police station lodging is better than their situation.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
Right.
what
Without a
the
doubt.
situation was.
I imagine a lot
Sadly
of times
enough.
they're afraid that they're going to be hurt or killed. That's why you seek asylum in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
That's the other.
happened to weren't there like lawsuits because they were saying these people were technically being kidnapped once they put them on these buses because they didn't know
Yeah.
where they were. Did
I
they
think
ever
that
happen
would
they
with
probably
those?
filled out.
they probably.
I imagine they filled out paperwork that said, "Yeah, I want to go here."
I'm
right?
sure.
Right. Hey, if you want to go on this bus, you have to sign right here. And they sign. It says, "I freely and willingly," and it probably says it in their language. I want to go to New York.
I'm with you. I
I'm
think that's
looking forward
exactly
to-
what they did.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Okay, we'll fly you there, no problem." Right. And then the state's happy because
Because they've probably been sitting like in El Paso for like
Right.
60 days on
Right.
a street.
And they're like, "You want to go to New York? Yeah, I
Sure,
want to
I'll
go
check
to New
it
York.
out."
We'll fly you there for free, no problem." Right, but
Yeah.
they have to fill something out before they go.
We got
to.
to we got to keep. This will be a story I want to keep following because it's really interesting to me.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind talking to somebody in Chicago about on the ground with
Yeah.
what's going on because this is a hot issue in
I would-
Chicago.
so-
It's a hot issue in New York. I mean, I imagine it's a hot issue in other blue states.
And I'd love to see. I think Jill's question's a good one. Like, what is the processing? How is that? Like, how do they keep? So, Steve, you can find somebody in migrant services in Chicago. That'd be good.
You know
He
who
said
to
he's
talk
on
to?
it.
Alfredo.
Alfredo would be good. I was just thinking about him.
Alfredo.
He'll have somebody to. He'll have somebody
Alfredo,
that can
no.
recommend to us.
I bet you Alfredo knows the answer. I know he knows the answer to your question, Joe. But I bet you he's a good guy to talk to about
All
that.
right.
All right. We'll talk to him. He's a lock potter too. So, all right. We like to leave you guys with happy endings.
Whoa.
Did that come out right?
No.
Came
Just like
out
this one isn't going to
perfectly.
come out right.
That did not come out right. All right, we're not going to leave you with a happy ending, but we'll leave you laughing. How about that? This is a bit that came out of Alex Trebek on Jeopardy with a lady that said something that she didn't mean to say. She was talking about her honeymoon night. But before we leave, I want to say thanks to the Compass, and thanks for keeping us on track today, Kevin, the Compass. Jill, thank you for coming by again. Appreciate you. Jay Vez, awesome job.
Thanks.
And coming to you live from the Locomotive. Thanks for listening to Lockpod on a Friday morning. We'll be back on Tuesday with another great show. And on the way out, make sure to listen to this. It's a good little TikTok. Take care, everybody. It's a short one.
Mary Beth prayed for snow on her wedding day.
Yes, I did. It was 32 degrees and no snow on my wedding day, but I had 8 inches on my honeymoon. So.